Nejnovější díl Sherlocka Holmese měl být původně hotov už v srpnu tohoto roku a tím se pro nás stal na Gamescomu nezajímavým. Ale nakonec vývojáři ve Frogwares nabrali další zpoždění a hra se posunula na konec září. Proto jsme se rozhodli téhle hře přece jenom tady podívat na zaubek. Ukrajinští vývojáři sice do Kolína nedojeli, ale to neznamená, že si o hře nemůžeme popovídat se zástupcem vydavatele, kterým je Focus Home Interactive.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him.
Muže Michaele, o čem vlastně bude příběh Crimes and Punishments?
Well, Crimes and Punishments takes place across 6 consecutive cases. Some of them you'll notice from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's stories. Some of them are original. So the overarching story isn't as predominant as the stories per case. So you're solving cases one by one by one. They're not connected necessarily too strongly.
Můžu si vybrat, který případ budu řešit jako první?
No. You must do it consecutively, partly because the first case, of course, introduces you to the game's mechanics, and also partly because the way that the creative narrative has been chosen. But you can go back and do any case you want after you've completed it, in whatever order you want.
Okay.
Příběh je tedy rozdělený na kapitoly. Neuvažovali jste o vydání hry v epizodickém formátu?
In episodic format?
Now, you know, I don't think that's something that is often something people do because they don't have enough money to complete the entire game. Frogwares have been working with Focus Home for a long time. We have a very good relationship. They're a successful developer, we're a successful publisher, and in terms of finishing the game at a polished standard that everyone can enjoy, it's something we can do. We're lucky to be able to do that, so that's what we chose to do. Episodic gaming, personally, for my taste, I don't like it. I'll tell you why. It's because when I get to the end of a case, I want more desperately. But after a while, I start to want more less and less, and I forget what the game is in the story. I have this with Wolf Among Us. Beautiful game, love this game. But after such a long wait, I get onto other things, other games. I think it's fun for people to get through Sherlock at their own pace and know that they have it there, you know, when they want it.
In previous games,
Příběh předešlých her o Sherlocku Holmesovi byl vždycky původní. Je zápletka Crimes and Punishments inspirována některým konkrétním dílem Arthura Conana Doylea, nebo jde opět o původní příběh z dílny Frogwares?
Story written by Frogwares.
Well, we had one journalist this morning who was able to pretty much get through the entire case of Black Peter by having read the short story. So a lot of them are based on the original short stories, but there are some twists and turns in there to keep things fresh. But anyone familiar with the Arthur Conan Doyle stories will be certainly very familiar with the game and its world and its characters. So it helps. But it should be new and fresh for those people as well.
New Sherlock Holmes game.
Nový Sherlock Holmes se zjevně soustředí na herní konzole.
Consoles. You know,
focused.
Okay, what I had in mind.
Nemyslím tím technologickou stránku věci, ale hratelnost, která je pro konzolový trh obvykle zjednodušována. PCčkové publikum je naopak spíš hardkorové, alespoň co se adventur týče. Ovlivnilo tohle nějak hratelnost nebo herní náplň nového Sherlocka Holmese?
Well, the genre has changed. The previous games were adventure games. This is a pure investigation game. So this isn't about finding all the clues to get to a conclusion. This is about being Sherlock Holmes and figuring out who committed the crime, who committed the murder. That's what this is about. It's not about finding all the clues. You don't have to find all the clues. You can get through the game without finding plenty of the clues. But it's the clues that you find, how you contextualize them and what you make of them that determines the chain that you follow towards your ultimate conclusion. If anything, this has become more complicated than previous games with the console releases. Not because of the console releases, but you know, it's a more complex, more in-depth games than the previous games.
Takže není nezbytné nalézt všechny stopy, ale pouze ty nejdůležitější, je to tak?
Absolutely not. There are certain clues you will have to find that will set you a task. These are of narrative importance. Certain narrative clues you do have to find. but many of them, many, you can completely skip or miss. But finding these clues will unlock new suspects, unlock new conversations with each suspect. So they are super important. But ultimately, you can reach the wrong conclusion by finding clues that aren't as important as other clues.
A co se stane pak?
Then you find the wrong guy, but Holmes is convinced it's the right guy. Maybe you're convinced it's the right guy. You either absolve him, or you hand him over to Lestrade, and then the cutscene happens, and the world deals with that. Maybe the guy shoots himself in the head, because he knew he didn't do it.
Takže hra je vlastně nelineární?
It's completely non-linear. There are up to 9 different endings per case. With 6 cases.
Takže je to trošičku jako L.A. Noir?
There's a little bit of L.A. Noir in that, a little bit, but in terms of being inspired directly by it, I wouldn't say so. Well, things have come a long way since then, and certain mechanics have changed. And I would say that L.A. Noir is an action game for the most part.
Oh.
I mean, Sherlock Holmes is an investigation game. You won't be running around shooting people, you won't be driving around.
Yeah.
And although people's facial animations can give you a sense of who might be lying, they're not a mechanic you have to rely on. So with Sherlock Holmes, you're relying on the evidence you find and how you interpret it, rather than facial animations and things like this.
Yeah.
So it's a different ball game, but there's a similar sort of genre.
Yeah.
Upřímně, co se mi na předchozích Holmesovkách moc nelíbilo, byly některé úkoly, které přímo nesouvisely s příběhem. Po člověku se chtělo, aby pro někoho scháněl nějakou hloupost, což mělo z mého pohledu jediný účel, a to prodloužit herní dobu. Čekají nás podobné úkoly i v Crimes and Punishments?
No, not at all. One of the things we have now is rather than having to do things like that to appease people, to get them to talk to you, is you have disguises. If you want to talk to a sailor, then you will dress up as a sailor. You will go to the pub or the bar, and you will talk to the guy as he is, as Sherlock Holmes would have done. So certain disguises you pick from your wardrobe, including hats and glasses and beards and stuff like that, will open up new people to talk to. There's no unnecessary legwork. It's a very, very refined gaming experience this time around. They've got many years, 14, 15 years of experience under their belt. So this is their magnum opus, I think.
Dobrá, hratelnost se tedy soustředí na vyšetřování, vyslýchání, ale mnohem méně na kombinování předmětů v inventáři, protože i tohle patřilo k jakési hardcore části předchozích Holmesovek a některé kombinace předmětů nebyly zrovna dvakrát logické, nebo řekněme věrohodné.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We do have side things to do. I call them mini games. I don't know if that's the official term we're using it, but we have chemistry, things like this. And there's a moment where you have to do an experiment to find out if a young lad could have put a harpoon through a guy. So you throw a harpoon at a pig. You have these cutie kind of mini games, things like this. But in terms of combining items, things like that, no. As I said, the game is about figuring out who committed the crime, and the gameplay is very composed of this element. This is the most important element. That's the ultimate puzzle for Holmes. Who committed the crime and how we're going to figure that out. It's not so much these adventure game sort of clichés anymore.
Můžeme opět ovládat jak Sherlocka Holmese, tak i doktora Watsona?
I can't answer that. You're going to have to play it to find that out, I'm afraid.
Okay. So,
je ve hře nějaký nový speciální prvek, který výrazně vylepšuje hratelnost?
Enhance the gameplay?
Wow, that's a loaded question. There's a lot. I mean, as we talked about before, Crimes and Punishments is about figuring out who the murderer is from start to finish. That's the key element. So we have to build mechanics that let you do that don't detract from gameplay. So this isn't more about puzzles anymore. This isn't a puzzle game. This isn't an adventure game. It's not about finding all the evidence. It's about knowing what to do with it. So with that said, we have the interrogation mechanic. Obviously, we interrogate characters. We have the character portrait mechanic. You pick up details about a character by scanning them, which you can use against their testimonies, things like that. That looks gorgeous as well. Other mechanics are the extra mini games, the different puzzles, more visceral, not as tasking, not as taxing these puzzles. And all of these elements are designed to make you feel as though you are Sherlock Holmes. You're not just playing an adventure game in the Sherlock Holmes universe, almost like an RPG. You're Holmes, and as we said, for the whole campaign, it's his skills, your wits. So you're using Sherlock Holmes skills, and you're contextualizing them, with your own brain. So that's the puzzle, figuring out who did it.
Kdyby si měl vybrat jedinou vlastnost hry, ten nejlepší prvek charakteristický pro celou sérii a obzvlášť pro Crimes and Punishments, který by to byl?
I have to say for me it's the interrogation. Because the interrogation is the part where you see Holmes really being Holmes. In other games, you didn't see Holmes as a very cold person. He's very calculated. We don't see that in some of the other games, but now we see Holmes slam his fist down saying, you know, this is how it happened, and I know this because of this, this, and this, and you see their reaction like, how did you know that? That's amazing. And of course, it's because you steered Holmes in that direction. And I think we never got to see that part of Holmes before. And especially at the end, when you either absolve or you condemn, you get to see Holmes's reasoning for each one and how they react, and then eventually how the case ends for either the condemning or the absolving. So this new hardcore Holmes sort of mentality here. There's a lot of dialogue options, narrative options for this. It's completely opened the game up. I love it.
Hned na začátku hry se mi líbila jedna scéna, kdy Sherlock ve svém pokoji střílí z pistole se zavázanýma očima a Lestrade mezi tím stoupá po schodech. Sherlock poslouchá jeho kroky a jeho myšlenky se objevují na obrazovce, takže hráč nezná pouze Holmesovu závěrečnou dedukci, ale také proces, jakým k ní dospěl. Tohle je podle mě další krok vpřed.
Yes, you are one in the same with Holmes. Your minds are melded, you know, like a Vulcan mind meld. That's how you are. You're working with him. You're not just pushing him along. It's you guys together. I think that's the biggest difference.
It's over, Holmes. We can do nothing for him now.
Here is a case that didn't end as I had expected. It is entirely my fault.